Before you book your next vacation to Mexico, especially Playa del Carmen, you're going to want to know about some major changes that can affect your trip. In today's video, we're going to go over some of those changes, but stick around till the end because I have a few tips on how to avoid these changes from ruining your vacation. So let's cue up that intro and get busy. Hey, what's up, gang? It's your girl Daisy, the hostess with the mostest, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have arrived safely to Playa del Carmen to start my Rivera Maya vacation. And while it's still fresh in my mind, I just wanted to go over some of the major changes that has happened since my last trip to this area, which is, when was that? September of 2021, when I stayed at the majestic Costa Mujeres up in Cancun. I reviewed that resort for you guys, so I'll leave a card up here if you want to check that out. But there has been some big changes, and I just wanted to go through a few of them so there's no surprises when you guys get here. As usual, I'm going to leave the links down to all the travel gurus that I follow. I'll leave it down in the description below. These are the people that steered me in the right direction. They're excellent and they know everything that's going on in Mexico as well as the Riviera Maya. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Which is always COVID and COVID policy. Fortunately, Mexico has always had a very liberal COVID protocol. Meaning you don't have to show proof of vaccination, you don't have to show a negative test to get in. That being said, upon departing Mexico and heading back into the US, and I'm only speaking about the US, if you're traveling back to another country, definitely check what your protocol is in your country. But for going back to the US, they now require a COVID test negative within 24 hours of you getting back on that plane, unlike what it was in 2021, where it was a 3-day window. Thankfully, there are plenty of testing sites in both Playa and Cancun that will administer the test and give you the results in a couple of hours. But remember, you must now show a negative COVID test 24 hours before you head back to the US. Now let's talk about the tourist visa. All foreign citizens traveling to Mexico are required to fill out the FMM, the Forma Migratoria. That's the visa giving you permission to stay in the country prior to your arrival in Mexico. I filled out mine. I went through the Cancun International Airport, and you can do it. You can do the FMM online. It was an easy process. Just have your passport, all your information ready, your flight, you know the gist. If you can't do it online, JetBlue or whatever major airline you're coming into Mexico in usually gives you, they'll hand out the form like half an hour before you land. They'll hand it out on the plane and you can fill it out there. But you're definitely gonna have to fill that form out, and when you come through customs, that's what they stamp. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like, guys. Now in the past, you usually got, regardless of how much time you were staying in Mexico, they usually gave you 180 days. Mexico is one of the few countries that you could stay almost 6 months with no issues. Even if you're only staying a week, they would give you the 180 days. Those days are now gone. The 180-day rule does not apply. It doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get it. So always have your information ready when you come through. Don't think that you're going to get 180 days because that's the norm. They may give you 30 days. They may give you 60 days. It all depends on the customs agent. If they're not having a great day, you may get 7 days. It's up to their discretion. I was lucky. I didn't need 180 days, but as you can see, I received the 180 days. And always look at that corner where they write it in. Yeah, because some people automatically think they're getting the 180 days and they've written something here. You don't want to get caught out here. They're cracking down on what they call the perpetual tourist. You know, a lot of expats, A lot of people decided to come down to this area during COVID to work remotely. Then they fell in love with the place. And now what they do is every 6 months, they do a border run and come back to get another 180 days. They're cracking down on that. Those days are over. I'm not saying you may not get the 180 days, but it's not an automatic anymore. So definitely when she punches you through, the customs agent, check that box to see, and they handwrite it in. See how many days, make sure that you got at least what you're here to stay for, right? And that way you don't got a problem. I've heard that they've been doing, the immigration people sometimes do spot checks, and you better have your passport, and you better have your FMM on you at all times. That way you can prove that you're in this country legally for the amount of days that's stamped on the bottom of that form. And lastly, they're calling this summer in the Rivera Maya the summer of seaweed. Yes, if you've never heard about sargassum and the sargassum issue that the Mexican Caribbean has been experiencing for quite a couple of years, well, this year it's coming to a beach town around here on steroids. It's been an issue going back like 2018, I think even before, but with the global warming issues, I read that Brazil is dumping a lot of chemicals in the ocean, and so that means that that sea of sargassum starts to grow, and a lot. And I'm going to leave a couple of links down so you can check out the channels that covers the sargassum issue. It's pretty bad. And while a lot of the major hotels and resorts spend millions of dollars, and yes, you heard it right, millions of dollars with staff and heavy equipment cleaning this stuff off, because when it gets on the beach and it dries, supposedly it smells like rotten eggs. So it's not, you're not really going to be a happy camper, sitting on a beach and smelling that if they haven't removed it. I'm going to share some links below. Read up on the sargassum issue. It's an environmental disaster what's happening, and it's just not the Mexican Caribbean. Parts of Puerto Rico, Punta Cana, Jamaica. I mean, this stuff is coming to a beach near you and soon, and check out to see, what we as human beings can do in order to, start, giving back and helping the environment. I mean, pretty soon we're not going to find the beach where we can sit. And when you see what it really looks like, how it makes the blue or green ocean that's out there look horrible. You'll see, check out the videos, learn a little bit something, but stay tuned because I'm going to share with you how I plan to avoid the beaches that have the sargassum. So let's get into these tips. First one is regarding COVID testing. Since the United States is now requiring a negative COVID test given within 24 hours of your departure, there's a chance that you may test positive. Now, obviously, none of us want to hear that while we're on vacation, but there's still a chance that you may test positive and you're not going to be able to get on that plane. So I made arrangements with my Airbnb host to make sure that I can stay the additional quarantine period, which is now 5 days. So if you find out that you have tested positive for whatever reasons, right, you're going to have to stick around for an additional 5 days. So definitely check with your resort. A lot of the all-inclusives, they test on site. And if you happen to have, get COVID while you're there, they'll allow you to stay the additional days on them. Now, if you rented or you're staying, off a resort on an Airbnb or an apartment that you've rented, check with your host to make sure that they are also willing to put you up for at least the 5 days while you're in quarantine. Now, that's not going to be free. They'll probably say, yeah, sure, if they have the availability, but you're probably going to have to pay, which is why I took out extra insurance. I'll leave the link down to the place that I took out the insurance. I got one of those canceled for whatever reasons, and I'm covered. Whether it's COVID, I got into an accident, my hip goes bad, whatever it is, I'm covered for an additional 10 nights at $100 per night on the insurance. So that's not bad, but definitely check to make sure that you can stay either where you're at or somewhere else, just in case you come out, it's determined that you are testing positive for COVID. Second tip is in regards to the FMM or your visa. Since I mentioned earlier that it's no longer a gimme, that you're gonna get the 180 days, but you definitely will get what you're coming for, or at least you should. The best way to make sure that you get exactly the days that you need, I always prepare like binders like this when I'm traveling, especially overseas. And here I'm able to prove where I'm staying, how many nights. I also have my, JetBlue confirmation so they know when I'm leaving. The gist is that they just, they're getting tired of the perpetual tourist. These people that keep, making border runs every 6 months and then return to get a fresh 180 days. Unfortunately, those people have spoiled it for everyone. Again, I did get the 180. I didn't need it. But since I packed like I'm not coming back, who knows? But anyway, always have like the travel documents. Be prepared to show them in case, your custom agent is not having a great day. And again, per the laws, it's all subjected to the customs agent. If that person didn't have a good day, you may get 7 days or you may get 30 days. You may get a lot less than what you need. So make sure that you have all of your documents proving when you're arriving, proving when you're leaving, and you should at least get the required days that you need, and hopefully you'll get the 180, but definitely be prepared. Lastly, it's the summer of seaweed, right? The sargassum, and trust and believe, a lot of these travel channels are talking about it. It's a real bummer. It's actually putting a dent in the Mexican tourism because, let's face it, while there's tons of stuff to do here in Playa del Carmen and Cancun, most people come here for the beach and the water, and the sargassum is putting a serious dent into those water activities. Now, it changes, so there's no way to determine on any given day which beach is going to be better than the next. There's a Facebook page, and again, I'll leave the link down below, and they have coverage of the sargassum situation. They rank it by colors. And you can check, whatever beach you're near or whatever beach you want to visit that day and see how bad it is or it isn't as far as the sargassum map. I think light green means there's very little, and red means probably you don't want to go near that beach. But yeah, they do a pretty good job from what I'm told. Cleaning it up and carting it off. I mean, it's like an endless process, right? You see these people out there all day, and the next day when they come back, it's like you're starting from zero because the ocean just coughs it right back at you. So it is a problem, but definitely don't put off coming to Playa because of it. Again, there's plenty to do, and you'll be able to find a beach where you can swim without the seaweed. I'm told that Cozumel, even though you have to jump on the ferry here in Playa, Cozumel gets very little. I'm planning to take a little trip up there, so I'll definitely shoot some video for you guys with that. And Isla Mujeres, which is heading back towards Cancun, it's a long trip. I mean, you're talking about another hour to Cancun and then, another hour on a ferry. But if the beach is your thing and you want to make sure that you get some beach time, I'm told that those two spots are it. Cozumel and Isla Mujeres. I think Holbox Island is also good, but that's also like a trek. I mean, it's like I said, it's a bummer because the beach is literally right here. But like I said, some days it's better, but don't let that ruin your travel plans. Get up early or the night before and look at that sargassum map and see which beach is going to be the best for your swimming activities. And don't forget, there's tons of the cenotes. Beautiful, right? Those are the caves where you can go and swim, freshwater caves. I'm going to hit some of those. I'm heading down to Tulum as well. So I'll be checking in with you when I'm down at one of these cenotes. But definitely don't let the sargassum, it is what it is, right? And eventually, hopefully soon, whether it's the Mexican government, environmentalists all around the planet, something's going to have to be done because it's definitely going to eventually kill the tourism in this section. And these people really depend on your tourist bucks. And if you can't swim here, people will go swim elsewhere. But again, this is a big Caribbean problem, and it could be coming to a Caribbean beach near you. But don't put off your plans. Check the Sargasso map and go out there and find the beach that's nice and clean. So that's it for now, guys. I just wanted to make you aware of some of the changes if you're planning on a vacation here in Mexico or the Rivera Maya. I hope that you'll use some of my tips, how not to make these changes ruin your vacation. That way you can have a good time, prepare, do your homework, do your research, get out there and have some fun. And let me know in the comments if you guys are coming down this season, and if you have, what was your experience with either the COVID or, the FMM? Did you get the 180? Did they try to give you less days? I'd really love to know. Let me know if, any tips on, if you have any tips on how to find, the best beach with the least Sargasso, right? So just leave everything down in the description box below. Leave me all your comments. I love to hear from everybody. As always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel down below. And don't forget to hit that little bell. That way you'll be notified every time I drop a new video. And since I'm going to be here in Playa for the next several weeks, you're not going to want to miss a thing. Thanks for watching. Ciao.